This is going to be a pretty exciting video. It's going to be hot. You can see the airco in the background there, and I am also going to grab one of these because it is very warm. It is around 40 degrees today. I think right now, yeah, it's a little bit cloudy, which is nice, but it is still warm. And I'm going to do something that's going to make me even more warm. But I am going to start the work on the walls here. So we are starting with the removal of the old plaster on the stone walls here. You can see it's crumbling. I've talked about it before. But today is the day that I'm going to make a start by removing everything. Well, I'm going to start it. The whole process will probably take weeks, especially when it stays this warm. But it's very exciting and I can't wait to see what it looks like underneath. But first, you can see it over here. I need to clean up everything around here because it's going to be a messy job and I don't want it to get in everything. So first cleaning and after that we'll make a start. So you can see a little bit here. We know there's red brick under here because there used to be doors where there are windows right now. But I can't wait to see what the rest looks like. It's going to be very exciting to see the old stone appear, but first this needs to go. This one's going to stay because Pino needs her own little pool. She is doing all right in the heat. It helps that we have one room with air conditioning right now. Still it's like around 27, 28 degrees in that room, but it feels a lot cooler than it is outside. So she can cool down there and she will just lay flat on her belly. And also outside she is looking for spots in the shade. She can always go inside, but she's managing all right. I think she doesn't really mind that much, and yeah, she's doing great. So are the other animals. And so are we as well. Of course it's very warm, so it's a little bit of an adjustment, but I think it's warm everywhere right now, so yeah, we just have to deal with it.
Hi there, sorry for the little break, but I think it's about time I show you some more from the garden. I think it's time for an update, so let's go. As some of you might know, I recently started my own channel in which I document our full gardening journey. So if you want to stay up to date to whatever is happening in the garden, you should follow me there. I'll place a link somewhere. But I thought for those of you who aren't that interested in gardening but still want to see how it's going, I'm going to give you a little bit of an update. Although I'm generally very happy with how the garden is doing, there are some things I'd like to improve on, such as how these tomatoes are staked. I bought some bamboo poles locally and they were very expensive, let me tell you. And they're not quite doing the job, and that's simply because they are growing wild. We have a lot of sunshine and heat and I've been watering them intensely. So they're growing very well, but it means I do need some better support, I think. And that's actually where the sponsor of this week's video comes in, Temu. As you probably know, renovations tend to get very expensive. And in our case, most of our budget is allocated to the renovation project, which means the garden doesn't have much budget left. And we do want to grow nutritious and healthy produce. And that's why we love Temu. It makes it possible to buy a great selection of products at a really affordable price, making it possible for us to keep gardening while also renovating a house. Starting off, we have these little bamboo stakes that I use to support the pepper plants as they continue growing bigger and stronger and require also more support. Regarding support, also these tomato cages that are actually from a small family-owned business in the United States. And they are much needed to support these tomato plants. As you see, they are growing everywhere. It's a very sturdy system, very strong, and you can make it as high as you want them to. For these tomato plants I'm going full height, but you can even expand upon that if you'd like. And like I said, it's just a very sturdy system, so I'm very happy with it. We also got this little clay pot, which I buried right beside my beefsteak tomatoes, which require a lot of water, so hopefully this will help me keep them hydrated. After a long day of work, we like to wind down by having a nice meal, or in this case, barbecue. And with the big selection of products that Temu offers, there were also some great barbecue items for us to enjoy. If you'd like to try out Temu, then download the app and use either the code on screen or the link in our description to receive a product for €0. Thanks to Temu for sponsoring this video, and now back to Nikki.
So this thermometer is in the full sun. So it's a bit warmer on here than it actually is, but still it's on his maximum. So it's above 50 degrees Celsius, which is 120 Fahrenheit. And I know people are going to say this is broken, but I promise you it isn't. So I'm going to put it in the shade so it will give a bit more of a realistic reading. And then I'm going to put the other one outside as well. So I have two to show you, because they will not be broken both. You can see I am completely sweaty as well. So we can see how warm it really is. But the whole region, I think whole of Europe, everything is extremely hot, and it is also extremely hot here. That was crazy. Just fell over on its own. So I'm going to put it outside and we'll check in 30 minutes or so how warm it is in the shade. Okay, so 25 degrees inside, which is pretty nice. It also feels cold in there. The time isn't right. I will check how late it is in a minute, but we're just going to put it here with the other one over there. Let's do over there in the shade. So we'll see. Okay, and let's check the time on my watch. It is almost 2. So hottest hours of the day, I guess, but that's fine. We'll see what it says in the shadow. I think it's still pretty warm in the shade as well, but we'll figure it out in a few minutes. Chickens are also doing good. You can see them over there. They are growing up very quickly. They are very beautiful. I hope not all of them are roosters, but it does seem like most of them are. But that's fine. We'll see what we do about that later. They have this shade cloth over here, which works pretty great for them. But I'm also sometimes, a few times a day, putting on the water, putting the hose in the enclosure, putting on the water, so they have a bit of a wet ground, a muddy ground, where they can go in to cool down. They seem to really like that, so that's what I'm going to do right now as well, just to give them another option to cool down, basically, because they do get a little bit bothered by the heat, and you can see it. You can see their beaks open, and you can see it in the way they are standing. They do get hot, so let's give them some extra cooling down options. So the hose is very slightly on right now. So they have like a small river with cool water, which they go in, they drink and they walk through it, and that will cool them down. I'm thinking of maybe building a very little pond for them in here, or even putting like a little pool for them to cool down. But chickens don't really go in the water. They might walk through it, but they will never lay in it. That's just not how they work. So yeah, I'm still looking what I can do to make their life a little bit better. They have the shade cloth here right now. They have this house in their bigger enclosure. They are in the shade during most of the day behind this old wall here. And I am always making sure they have a large like tray with water, which stays cool, or we will give them fresh cold water. So yeah, I think they are managing, but still for them as well, it's very, very warm. So just trying to make little improvements to make their life better. 39.3 Celsius and 38, 39 Celsius, around 98 Fahrenheit or something. And this is in the shade, pretty warm. So I have this tool here. I'm going to start out by removing a bit of the plaster by hand. Of course, I'm not going to everything just with a hand tool. I am going to grab the machines once I know what it looks like around these cracks here, because we are just starting out with this. I first want to see and be a little bit careful. Also, I know there's a lot of animals and insects living under the layer there, and I just want to be a bit careful because I don't really know what I will find once I remove a bit here. You can see the cracks as well, so just going to be careful. Going to use this first, and then after that, of course, I'm going to grab the hammer drill. I think that's what it's called in English. And yeah, it will take some time, especially starting out by hand, but just want to make sure nothing crazy is under there. So here you can see the different parts of the wall and also the different types of plaster. So let me grab this. These are the red bricks that they put in once they closed off this door, because there used to be a door, there used to be a door, and in between is the original stone. And here you also can see this layer of plaster, this layer, and this layer is all from a different time. So this is, of course, the upper part is the most recent. We think that is done when they redid the roof on this building, which is 15 years ago. And this might be as old as 30 to 50 years ago, maybe even older. And before that, the original way was just the exposed stone. So I think it's pretty cool that you have those different layers of history here, and that we go all the way back to how it was before. And yeah, I can't wait till we can see that, but of course that will take a long time because it's a big job. Also, a lot of the times when I do things by hand or with hand tools, I get a lot of comments saying you should buy a machine for this, it will go quicker, it will be better, buy better equipment, buy better machinery. But I also think sometimes it's good to remember we have a body, we have hands, we have a brain, and it's not always needed to do things with machines or bigger equipment, more expensive equipment. Sometimes doing things by hand can be pretty calming. It can be like a relaxation thing. And I also think it's good to remember that we are made to do work with our bodies, and it's not always needed for everything to go quicker. We live in a world where everything goes fast and speed is very important, but for me this is a project that's going to take years, and I don't mind sometimes learning a new skill, doing it the old school way, just to get a bit of a feeling for the job I'm doing, a feeling for the building, a feeling for the project. If you always go in something with machinery, with equipment, sometimes I think you are, I don't know, too far away from what you're actually doing. So of course, it's not possible to do a lot of the things without machines, but sometimes I think it's just good to take a step back and work more with your hands, just to get that feeling with the building. I know it might sound strange, but I believe sometimes that works, for me at least. I think it's very calming in a way, and I learn more that way as well. And of course this house, I would never finish it if I would do it this way, but just to start out and get the feeling from it and then move on to what is needed, I think it's a good way to go. louder than expected, so I'm going to put some air protection on. And as you can see, I already have protective glasses on, so don't worry about that. So this is how far I got by hand, but it's time to grab a little bit more of a bigger tool to continue the job. I scared away, I think, most of the insects. There are little nests under the layer still, but most of them seem to be abandoned already, so we're just going to continue. Some of these bricks, it's good that we do this now, because some of those bricks already feel soft because of all the moisture that was trapped in there. And it's very beautiful sunny weather the whole time, so now it can dry out before we continue. So yeah, let's go. So as you can see, this job will make you pretty dirty, but yeah, it's going nicely. The first layer is very easy, and the old layer, some parts is a bit harder, some parts it's easier because it's already loose because of all the moisture that was trapped behind that layer. But yeah, this is what I did so far. I am going to remove, of course, all the rest. You can see here where the stone is still not exposed, but I need to do that a little bit more careful than this. I don't want to damage all the stones, but I am going to take a shower, and I will continue this tomorrow with fresh energy. And I think I might be able to do the whole first floor of the building tomorrow. Might be a bit ambitious, but we'll see how I think about it tomorrow. It's probably going to be very hot again, but yeah, I'm just going to try my best. And I don't think I will have it all nicely cleaned up, but I do think I can get that whole first layer off tomorrow. Good morning. I'm drinking iced coffee because it is already pretty warm, although it is still also pretty early. Yeah, very hot days. We had a little bit of a thunderstorm coming through last night, unfortunately without rain, only a bit of wind and lightning, but yeah, no rain, no water whatsoever, which was actually what we hoped for. But maybe tonight it would be nice if it's just raining and not storming too much, but yeah, you know, beggars can't be choosers. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm going to finish this iced coffee, put on protective gear and start working on the wall.
I ain't afraid of the dark. Once you let the light in, you won't see the beautiful stars shining down from afar. No, I ain't afraid of the dark. I don't mind the rain, bringing life back. We can breathe again when dealing with the pain. No, I don't mind the rain. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like a river flows, life will take you where you need to go. Getting old don't bother me, 'cause with eyes that's been through life, it's so much easier to see who I am.
So I'm taking a lot of breaks in between to drink water because it is so hot and also the camera keeps overheating. This is what I did here and over there, then that part and the top part which I cannot reach, so I will do that last. Here you can see the exposed stone. Here you can see they filled up some gaps with the red brick, which we of course will fix later. And here you can see not everything comes off in one go. So the first time, like what I'm doing today, is I'm going to keep it quite rough, and then later I can come back and do it a bit more careful because I don't really want to damage what is under here. So the last little bit of roughness of course will also go away, so we can see the beautiful stone, which you can see coming through on some bits, even more this area, but I need to be a bit careful with that. So first time just the top layer, and after that a bit more careful with the rest.
Getting old don't bother me. Truth can be a bitter pill, but it'll do you right to set you free the way a lie never will. Like climbing up the steepest hill, but truth can be a bitter pill. And ooh, that's the way it goes. Life will teach you what you need to know. And ooh, like the river flows, life will take you where you need to go.
I thought I was going to finish it today. I'm going pretty quickly, but I'm getting blisters because it's so warm and I'm completely sweaty, and the drill's pretty strong. So yeah, I think I'm going to take a little break and continue this tomorrow to give my hands a little bit of extra rest. I was just in the pool to cool down a bit, and I can see, it doesn't really show on camera yet, I can see very, very dark clouds behind me there. And I can also hear a little bit of rumbling in the background, which is not a good thing because we actually wanted to cook some things on the barbecue tonight. So hopefully it will go past and it isn't a big storm. Although we could use a little bit of rain, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So something crazy is happening. Dylan was watering the garden and called me because there is a fire there. And I was filming the storm with the drone, and now I look back on the footage and see small fire on the drone footage as well, which I didn't notice when I was flying because the reflections are always hitting the screen and you don't have a good view. So yeah, it's pretty close. It's very close to the electrical pole over there, and we had some problems with the electricity for the past few minutes, probably to do with the fire. We don't know what started this. Authorities are already there. We can see people with flashlights walking on the mountain there. But yeah, it's scary close by, so hopefully they are able to contain it because it has been so dry, and unfortunately the storm of this night didn't bring any rain here. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So from all the flashlights moving, we can see that there are a lot of people around, and fire seems to lose a lot of its power right now. Just a few little bits still glowing, but from this distance it's hard to see how much it really is. But yeah, they seem to be doing a pretty good job, a pretty hard job as well on the steep mountain in the dark around fire. So a lot of respect for these people because it must be incredibly hard up there. Good morning, guys. Another beautiful sunny day. I have a hose here because I'm on my way to the upper part of the terrain to help Dylan. He moved the IBC tank, and I'm going to see if with some attachments I can make a system where he can use the hose to water the garden. I think it should work, but yeah, that's what we're going to do first. After that, going to continue clearing the walls here. And the fire last night was crazy, but they contained it pretty quickly, and we can see that there doesn't seem to be a lot of damage. So that's good because there's a lot of nature on that hillside, and it would be sad if everything gets destroyed. But also there's a building pretty close to where the fire started, but no damage at all, seems that way at least. And also last night we got a visit from the fox again. I can see on the camera footage he's trying to get in the chicken coop, but gives up pretty quickly, and he doesn't get in, and I don't see any damage on the coop at all. So still going strong. He was gone for a few days, but I think he was just going to check if something was different this time. But no, he didn't get in, so that's also a very good thing. But let's grab some stuff and get this done so I can continue the project here. So Dylan and I were working over here and saw the smoke starting again, which this morning wasn't the case because Dylan took a picture to show me that there wasn't a lot of damage, and we see nothing on there, but right now smoking, and I also think some flames again. So yeah, we'll see how this works out. So we can already hear people talking, and when I zoomed in to film, I saw people walking around there. So I suspect that there will be a fire truck up there very, very soon. But yeah, it looks like it's just starting all over again. And last night and this morning, nothing was going on. So yeah, crazy to see, especially in daylight, because now we can see a lot better where it is and how close it actually is as well. So Dylan is calling the authorities just to make sure that they are aware, because we might have a good view of the mountain and we can see that the flames are starting to get really high right now. But the people around there might not even be able to see it, because we don't know if they look on it. There's a lot of smoke over there already. So we were probably not the first ones to call, but better make sure that they know. You can better call a bit too often than not at all, and it is way worse than it is last night. The flames are really high and there's a building right next to it, so I just want to make sure that they know. And I'm going to grab the camera to see if I can get a closer look.
Okay, perfect. Grazie mille. Yes. Okay, perfect. Grazie. Ik was er niet doorgegeven, geloof ik.
Anders wisten we waarschijnlijk wel waar het over ging. So Dylan spoke to the authorities, explained where the fire was, and they are coming here soon to put it out again. It's the flames seem to die down a little bit, but still smoking a lot, and I can hear the sound of, you know, knispering wood, the fire, and it also smells a lot, of course. But hopefully they are here quickly and it doesn't light up again. So Dylan and I are from the Netherlands, and although we have had some wildfires over the last few years, it's still not really a normal thing to happen there. And when it happens, it's normally around like nature reserves and not close to buildings. So it is pretty new to us. I can see flames lighting up again, so it's definitely a good thing we called the authorities. But it is also coming down the mountain our way. There's no wind today, not really. Yesterday they put it out very quickly. I was pretty surprised by that, because it's really hard to reach area. But they have done it quickly. It started again, but still. So hopefully they do it quickly again. We don't really know what to do in situations like this. So that's also a good reminder to check out the things you need to do when you move to a different area. Of course, we did a little bit of research when we moved here, and everybody told us this area isn't that prone to wildfires. But with the crazy weather things that are happening, I think you're never too sure what happens somewhere. And that's the same for here. So we have done some reading now on what to do when it starts to get close. And there's a cliff in between us, and normally there's a river down there. There's a little bit of water still, but not that much. So hopefully it would not be able to reach us if the wind doesn't blow it our way, which isn't the case right now. But still pretty scary to see. So I think it has almost been 3 hours, but the fire on the mountain is almost out. So they are very close to putting it out. So I am going to continue the work here because I still have a lot to do.
This is a good day as any to start the rebuilding right. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the night. And I can feel the sun on my skin. This morning has a clearer light than me to see the horizon in the fog. Excuses were 2 for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face,
So this is how far I got. I thought I was able to finish it, but because of the wildfires, that took some time as well. But I think it's starting to look very cool. And yeah, that's it for this week's video. I hope you like the look of this and I think it looks cool as well, but I'm pretty happy with how everything is turning out. Of course, it's going to take a little bit more time to finish it completely, but this is a good start and I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for all the support. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to receive sooner updates on everything that I'm doing, you can also follow me on Patreon, and I really appreciate everybody there, but of course everybody on YouTube as well. So yeah, thank you guys for watching and I will see you next week.